This phone for around 30,000 rupees is so weird, and I'm not even sure that I got it right. But if I heard it correctly, it's the only phone that beats the living lights out of any other phone in this price segment. It's got a 7000 mAh battery, or just call it an inbuilt power bank. It charges with a 120-watt super fast charger, which by the way comes in the box. Delivers 144 FPS super smooth gaming. No phone even under 50,000 gives you that. And it's got a camera that I honestly think beats any other phone in this price segment. All of this got me very interested in giving this phone a shot just for fun, and I really think that you should watch this video. So first of all, I'm not kidding when I said that this phone can really blow your socks off with its performance, and there are just really 3 reasons for it. Reason number 1, it's one of the first phones to come with Snapdragon 8s Gen 4 chip, which is actually better than last year's flagship Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and it's just below the flagship Snapdragon 8 Elite. Essentially, it's a flagship grade chip. Reason number 2, it's got an additional chip. That's iQOO's own Supercomputing Q1 chip, and it gives the boost needed to deliver smoother graphics and stable 144 FPS gaming. And reason number 3 is that it uses a very fast internal storage and a very special high-speed RAM. And so all of this gives you performance that really just blows your mind. It's hard for any other phone to match this performance in this price segment. Also, it's got a really effective cooling as well. So, despite long hours of gaming, you really never feel like it's getting uncomfortably hot. And guys, by the way, this is all on high graphics and ultra frame rate, which is really commendable. But seriously guys, 144 FPS, stable gaming, this would have been an unbelievable gaming experience, 2 years back. But now to see this kind of performance around 30,000 is just insane. But gaming aside, just everyday tasks are also going to feel really quick, be it installing apps or launching them or switching between them or just scrolling an app that's got a lot of heavy content or editing a 4K video and exporting it. All of this super smooth, and there's honestly no other phone in this price segment that can beat it. Now let's talk about how the phone looks and the build quality. Now honestly, for a 7000 mAh battery inside this, it's just about the right size and weight, and has a pretty good in-hand feel. It's all plastic build, but the matte finish all around and even at the back makes it feel premium. I've got the Inferno red color here, which I also think is borderline orange. It kind of has that racetrack kind of design. But if this design is not for you, there's also a more subtle titanium chrome color that you could go for. Other than that, you've got a USB 2.0 port, dual nano SIM tray, no microSD card slot, an infrared emitter, so the phone can be used as a remote to control any of your devices around you. It's got stereo speakers, and it does have NFC support as well. Now guys, it does have short display protection, and it's IP65 rated for water and dust resistance, which means you can take it out for a walk in the rain, or it can withstand some splashes of water. You can't just dip it in water. Now I'll say this though, there are other phones in this price segment that have higher certification for water and dust resistance. But as long as there is some protection and it can withstand splashes of water, it actually generally takes care of 90% of the use cases. But in extreme situations where you might drop it in a pool of water or it has like a hard fall, that can do something to this phone. So if you're a careless freak, you want to be mindful of that. Now on top of all of this, it's got a 6.78-inch flat display. It's really crisp with a 1.5K resolution, and it's AMOLED like all other phones now, so you know what to expect. Great colors, and it's super bright, goes up to 2000 nits in high brightness mode, which on an average is brighter than I think all phones in this price segment. The bezels look quite thin to me, and so every time I look at the phone, that flat display, it looks really nice. But just one thing about the refresh rate, it touches 144Hz only while gaming, and otherwise it peaks to 120Hz, which of course is still very smooth, and it steps down to 90Hz and 60Hz depending on the content. Now, software is something where people generally tend to express their concerns, so let's talk about that. So right out of the box, it's running the latest FunTouch OS 15, which is based on Android 15, and it comes with 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates, which is pretty standard in this price segment. Now, it doesn't come with a lot of bloatware preloaded. I think it just had Spotify, Snapchat, and PhonePe as preloaded. Rest were all just iQOO utilities and Google stuff. And of course, you could just as easily uninstall them as well. But FunTouch otherwise is quite customizable. You could theme your phone across colors or sync it better with your wallpaper. You've got a couple of always-on display styles that you could choose from, even set a fingerprint unlock animation of your choice, or even for face unlock. You could turn on ambient lighting that lights up for, incoming notifications. You've got some really cool charging animations and a very nifty sidebar that helps you access your frequently used apps or any app that you want from any screen on your phone. And while this was all about customization, there's also a couple of really nifty AI features that are useful. So you can obviously just long press on something in a photo, cut it out, or save it as a picture, or use it as a sticker. Clean your photos by removing people or objects with just one click, and damn, it works really well. Obviously, there's circle to search, which is now a given functionality in most of the new Android smartphones. And there's even AI call translation. So you could be speaking to someone in your own language while they hear the translated version in their language, and all in real time. It does support a couple of very popular languages, so hopefully you're covered, and you can make sure that you and the other caller only hear the clean translated version. So it works, pretty well. Now, in general, people tend to be not as impressed with FunTouch OS, and I understand that to some extent. While it's still very customizable and comes with many useful features, it does need some polishing in terms of aesthetics, interactions, and animations. But I do hear a couple of rumors around the FunTouch OS getting a huge makeover. So let's hope that the rumors are true, and hopefully this phone gets it too. Now, I know that iQOO has typically been known for really good gaming performance, but I really think that's just half the story. It's got an equally good camera performance. The camera specs are right here in front of you: a 50 megapixel primary camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 32 megapixel front facing camera. Now, it does not have any telephoto lenses, sure, but it does have a 2x zoom setting that does a pretty good job despite not having a native optical 2x quality zoom. Now guys, we'll talk about the 2x as well, but first, here are some samples taken using the primary camera, and I'm actually quite happy with the output. It's capturing the colors quite well, whether it's the reds, the blues, even the greens. And while they do look, slightly more on the contrasty side, it pops, and I believe it's quite nice. I was particularly impressed with the way it captured the skies though. It's natural, the highlights are well balanced, and very accurate to what I actually saw. Indoors too, most pictures taken were really good, very well balanced exposure, though sometimes I did think the dynamic range could be improved, like in this shot or even in this one, but 90% of the times I was quite happy with the shots taken. Now, here are some samples taken in portrait mode, and these are quite unbelievably good for a phone in this price segment. Very nice background bokeh, accurate detection and separation of the subject. The colors are captured beautifully. I mean, look at this one. Even that bud that hasn't bloomed into the flower was caught very naturally in focus. And look at the details on the petal in this one. Amazing. And this one was actually quite difficult, given there's just so much green and the AI could have been easily confused, but I still think it was done very well, albeit not perfect. And this one I took in low light at around 7:30 in the evening, guys. This is really impressive portrait performance. Speaking of low light, I don't think I've come across any phone that takes as good low light photos or nighttime photos as the iQOO Neo 10. Really solid detail, little to no noise, very elegantly handled. And this extends even to selfies in low light. I mean, would you imagine I took these at around 9 in the night? Sure, there was very little ambient lighting, but not enough to give this kind of output. Seriously, I've not come across any phone at this price to give such great low light selfie performance. And also, this was taken with night mode off, and then this was taken with night mode on. That's, crazy good, guys. Of course, even in regular daytime, these portrait selfies came out very nice. And a lot of this is because iQOO uses Vivo's nice algorithm in this phone, and so without a doubt, it's working really well. Also, there's no telephoto lens, but you can get 2x crop photos as you see here. They're still quite usable, whether it's, of things or people. The portrait 1x and 2x both look quite nice. There will be a link in the description, so you can just go ahead, download these samples and take a look for yourself. And finally, here's a 4K video sample that I shot using the iQOO Neo 10 in 30 FPS, although it can shoot up to 60 FPS, and again, for the price, I think it's acceptable. The video quality may not be as impressive as the photos that this phone can take, but the quality is still better than most phones that you can find in this price segment. Guys, being completely 100% honest with you, this is one of the best cameras that you can get in this price segment. Fantastic daytime photos and unbelievably good low light photos. I'm really amazed. In fact, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can download all of these photos and check it out for yourself. You don't have to listen to me. just go ahead and do that. Alright guys, finally let's talk about battery and charging. So this has a 7000 mAh silicon blue volt battery and it's just this much. I mean, that is a massive battery capacity, and in fact if you use it wisely, you can easily make it last for a day and a half without charging. Like, with my very mixed use throughout the day, which involved WhatsApp, some camera use, listening to music, checking emails, watching videos, some shorts, some calling, I barely got to like 48% from 100%. And so if you're someone who is, a lot on the move, or you really rely on your phone a lot through the day, very heavy use, this is seriously a good phone to consider. Besides, it comes with its own 120-watt charger in the box, and despite such a big battery, it charges from 1 to 100% in just 36 minutes. I mean, that's pretty fast for a 7000 mAh battery. It's a massive capacity, so it still doesn't take as much time, which is great. There is no wireless charging, of course, but it does support reverse wired charging at a speed of 10 watts. So I wasn't lying when I said it is a power bank. Honestly, guys, around 30,000 rupees, this is a phone to beat. I mean, easily the best performance, ace level gaming, a 7000 mAh battery in a body that's still very easy to hold and use. It charges to 100% in 36 minutes. Camera output is unexpectedly very good, and a display that's not just good looking, but also the brightest in the segment. And the only areas that I think it could use some improvement is possibly the durability certifications, the software, and maybe have some more design or color options. That would have been really nice. But honestly, at this price, I'm just nitpicking. It's a really good value for money smartphone, and honestly, it makes other phones in this price segment look bad. Anyway, that's it guys about the iQOO Neo 10. If you guys still have any questions, thoughts, comments, please put them down in the comment section. And if you guys did enjoy watching the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel guys, hit that bell notification icon, and mark all. Really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one.